Hello there, kia ora. Monday was Labour Day, the holiday that National Party members like to quote unquote joke about removing the most, which Jordan Rivers actually highlighted brilliantly in a video that he did yesterday. Go and check that out on his pages if you haven't done so already. Labor Day is actually one of our oldest holidays that's not connected to a religion, monarch, or imported directly from the United Kingdom. And it's got its roots going back to literally days after the signing of Te Tiriti, when tradie colonists got here and realised that by working together in unison to set out requirements for equitable use of time for work and treatment, that they could all benefit. And it's not surprising to see the left parties in Parliament, especially Labour, celebrating the day. I mean, after all, the Labour Party got their start from the Labour movement, hence the name. But what about the coalition? What did they do to celebrate the general workforce? Well, the answer's not going to shock you, really, considering how they've handled recent industrial action and tried to vilify everybody involved. The Prime Minister went to Malaysia for an economic conference and to hang out with Donald Trump. The Deputy Prime Minister got pissy at a Venn diagram that was published in the spin-off showing that unions are made up of workers and downplayed how the work unions get done benefits all employees whether or not they're union members. The Herald ran a fluff piece on a minister who pushed for the surprise removal of pay equity claims processes so that the government still couldn't meet its budgetary requirements without borrowing, while rolling back workplace safety regulations and shitting on part-time workers with changes to holiday pay laws. On how she disliked being called the wrong type of woman. A different media outlet ran a story about how the workforce is still struggling to find work and will continue to struggle over the period that retail usually increases in size because the government tanked the economy. To be fair, New Zealand First did a post celebrating workers in Labour Day and their recent support of the wage theft bill, but Winston hasn't posted in a week on Facebook. Maybe he's still licking his wounds after becoming the second senior coalition MP to lose the Oxford debate this year, arguing what I assume was the shitty side of an issue. The ACT Party didn't acknowledge it at all, and National put out a series of social media posts that included this tone-deaf one about how you should be working if you can, punching down on beneficiaries while ignoring the fact that there's more people unemployed than jobs available at the moment, like they mentioned in that one news piece about retail work before. But nothing specifically about Labour Day or recognition of the role of workers. I guess if they're not making money off being landlords, they're not really worth the acknowledgement. Now, none of this is really a surprise. Seymour would rather that you were talking about his interpretation of a Venn diagram than how his former party president, who's currently serving time for sexual assault, has had more charges brought against him. Winston is probably still recovering from his flight back with a bottle of whiskey and a fishing trip for the long weekend, and Luxon wouldn't pass up a chance to flee the country in the name of being at the table if it means being able to avoid media here asking questions like, why are you punishing people who can't find work in an economy where there's no work? Or how can you promise the roads your party seems so obsessed with will be done on budget, since you already had a massive blowout in that area that would have covered the Dunedin hospital rebuild 27 times over. Anyone who thought a party leader who hired a limo to cross the road to meet the press to announce his new role was ever going to understand the role of everyday, hard-working Kiwis might want to reevaluate that belief. Because there's one simple rule about the workforce that he and a lot of the coalition seem to be forgetting. They outnumber almost every other group in the country, and there's an election coming up really soon. Hey, thanks for sticking around till the end of the video. While you're here, why not hit that like button or share the video or even subscribe to the channel. You could even become a paid YouTube member so you can see things released in advance, you get access to some exclusive content, and like all these awesome people, you get to have your name at the end of the credits as well.